Hello, how are you, my pretties? I miss you. This is your librarian, Mrs. Williams, and I have a few things to talk to you about today in the video. I have some announcements and I have a book talk, and this is the last week of school library month, so we're going to wrap up our giveaways for that, and they're coming to pick up the book fair next week or maybe the week after. So anyway, we're wrapping things up. Mrs. Henley and I have been able to work in the library a little bit to start doing inventory and get things cleaned up, and I believe that Dr. Cryer will send an email out either this week or next week about getting library books back. So if you are ready to get those books back, we are ready to take them back from you. So the way I think it will probably go is the lobby or foyer will be open, so that first set of doors will be unlocked during certain times of the day, during certain days of the week, and that's to be announced by Dr. Cryer. And we will either have a tub or a cart, or maybe both, in the foyer, and we would like for you to put your books either in the tote or on the cart. And we'd like for you to return your teacher books too. So if you borrowed a book from your ELA teacher, either Mrs. Bigby or Mrs. Embry or Miss Stark or Mrs. Scheid or Mr. Dim, if you have any of their books, Miss Hayes, then you'll want to return those books too, and I'll make sure that they get back to their classroom library. So that's to be coming very soon. Like I said, excuse me, either next week or the week after. So be looking for an email from Dr. Cryer about that. The main thing that we're trying to do is get kind of coordinate getting everything back near the same time, so you don't have to make multiple trips out to the junior high. Excuse me, I got this weird tickle. No coronavirus, I'm healthy, just I think it's allergies. So don't worry about your books, or do start gathering them and watch your emails, because it is time. It's time to return the books, and Mrs. Henley and I are going to be counting them and taking them off, checking them in, and getting them off of your account and getting everything cleared up so that we're ready to start next year right away. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Anyway, let's see. So I hope you're doing well. I've been doing good now that we can kind of get back in the library. I feel, a little bit more of a routine. And I think this is our last week for the stay-at-home order, so if that works out, maybe we'll at least be able to get out and about a little bit more than, being forced to stay at home like we're supposed to be doing. So, things will slowly get back to normal, hopefully, and this has been an interesting experience, one that we will not soon forget. I need to tell you about this. So we need you to be sure you're getting those 40 book challenge logs to your teachers. Make sure you're sharing those with your teachers. Especially, we want to give everyone a certificate for completing the 40 book challenge, but especially if you've made the gold 40 book challenge, that's the superintendent's award. So if you made the superintendent's award, we really want to know, because we have a special surprise for you. So get those logs into your teacher ASAP. I need them this week, because I have the surprise requires me to count everybody, and it requires me to have the proper numbers so that I can order the right amount of surprises. So if you have made the 40 book challenge gold, that's the genreified one, that's where you read so many books of the different genres, then get that information to your teacher now, this week. And we need to know, because I want to get that rolling for the surprise. I'm excited. That's so exciting. Surprise! I love surprises. I love them. Okay, so let's see. We talked about returning your books. We've talked about the 40 book challenge. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you about that. Library business. I'm getting ready to return the book fair, and we'll have another one. We've got the fall book fair scheduled for October, so we're good. We're still gonna have a book fair. It'll just be pushed back a little bit. I want to talk about the book that was on the book fair that I saw while I was pilfering through it a few weeks, back before, like I think right after spring break when I was pilfering through it. I want to tell you about this book. Wow. I'm going to tell you right up front. My favorite genre is scary or suspense thriller or dystopian or fantasy. Fantasy, fantasy is kind of like fantasy. Um, I like those types of stories. Okay, so I'm not as eager to choose books that are in realistic or historical fiction. Um, I'm not sure why. It's just I like the fantasy. But I read this book because some of my friends went on and on and on and on and on about this book and how wonderful it was. And so it's not a very long read. It's pretty short. Very short, actually. 200, that's not even right, because it's not even 200 pages. It is barely 200 pages. It's like 204 pages, 203 pages. And, it's big font. There's lots of space. It's a short read. I've read it twice. It's super easy to read. But, oh, wow, packed with emotion. I'm telling you, I was like, this book kind of gets me right here. It feels like I've been punched in the gut when I'm reading this book. It's like, wow. It is very powerful stuff. So the main character is a 7th grader. This is a realistic fiction with an element of fantasy because there's a ghost as one of the main characters, and an element of historical fiction because another ghost character in the story is a ghost from 60 years ago. So he's telling his story from 60 years ago, the thing that happened to him in the past, in history, that made history. Actually, you read about it in history books. So the main character is named Jerome. It's either Jerome or Jeremy. I don't know. I say Jerome, but it could be pronounced Jeremy. I'm not sure. He is in Chicago. He has a little sister named Kim. He's a 7th grader. He's black, and he is bullied. Very severely bullied. Like, make me totally ticked off, bullied at the characters, what they do to him. One day, a new student pops in to the school. His name is Carlos. He's from San Antonio. He speaks Spanish, and immediately he is on the bully list as well. He tries to make friends with Jerome right away because Jerome is a good kid. He's a good guy, and he tries to make Carlos feel welcome, but he doesn't want to be Carlos's friend because he knows Carlos is like as big a target as he is because he's the new kid and he speaks Spanish, and that's terrible because apparently these bullies they're racist and they target kids with skin that's not the same color as theirs, which is just awful. And like I said, this story makes me have a lot of deep bad emotions, like I don't know. I don't like bullying. I don't like it at all. And I don't like it when these characters get bullied. Jeremy shows Carlos. They reluctantly Jerome becomes friends with Carlos reluctantly. He teaches Carlos how to hide in the bathroom during lunchtime so he doesn't get bullied, which is so sad. So they're in the bathroom one day, kind of hiding out, eating their lunch, and in walk the bullies. Well, Carlos, he has a little trick up his sleeve. He pulls out a fake gun. The bullies don't know it's a fake gun. They're like, "Whoa, how'd you get a gun in here, dude?" And they're like freaking out. And of course they skedaddle because Carlos has a gun. But Carlos quickly tells Jerome, "Hey, it's fake, but nobody has to know that. And this is one way we can keep the bullies off our backs." Jerome is both terrified and excited. He's never felt so powerful to get those bullies, to get rid of them. But at the same time, he knows that having a gun at school, even if it's a toy gun, that's not right. And he's really concerned about it. So Carlos keeps, kind of shoving the gun, and then like, "Here, try it. Here, hold it. Here, take it home. Here, you can use it." And the gun ends up really getting him in trouble. It ends up costing him his life. Not Carlos, Jerome. So Jerome is the ghost in the story, Ghost Boys. The person that ends up killing Jerome, the accident, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Jeremy's playing in the playground with the gun that Carlos is. Am I saying Jeremy or Jerome? I don't know. Jerome. He's playing with the gun just for fun. He knows it's a toy. He's playing like he's killing zombies. He's by himself. He's in a playground in a park. Someone calls the police. The police see this kid. He has a gun, and they shoot him. They shoot him. Officer Moore shoots Jerome, a 12-year-old 7th grade boy who is playing with a toy gun. That causes a lot of problems in the community. It causes a lot of problems for Officer Moore's daughter, Sarah. Sarah's the same age as Jerome, about the same height, and she's hearing the news media. She's hearing, Black Lives Matter. She's hearing racism remarks. Her dad gets, obviously gets suspended from his job while they go through the trial. Jerome is a ghost, and Sarah can see him. So Sarah and Jerome become unlikely friends. Jerome at first is very angry about the whole situation, rightly so. Sarah defends her dad at first because she doesn't really know what, she knows her dad is a police officer. His job is to protect. He would never shoot a 12-year-old boy with a toy gun. It brings up a lot of really interesting conversations, a lot of thought. I put a lot of thought in this. There were several times I had to put it down and just think and walk away because it's really heavy. It's a lot of, racism, a lot of strong, heavy topics in this book. But boy, is it good. It's just powerful. It's really, really powerful. I like that it's told from the kid's point of view. I like that, I like how Sarah and Jerome come to terms with what's going on and with their friendship. And Carlos has to come to terms with the fact that he's the one that gave Jerome the gun. And it's kind of his fault, sort of, in a weird sort of way. So he's got to deal with that too. So there's a lot of heavy things in this story that really make you think. Good discussion book. Wow, powerful. And a great ending. I mean, I didn't know if it was going to be able to pick me off the ground and end satisfactorily, but it did. So, if you're interested in reading Ghost Boys, which I would highly recommend, by Jewel Parker Rhodes, excellent book, great story, short read, 200 pages, easy to do, but very grown-up topics, handled very well. I do have some more copies of it, so I have 3 more copies. If you are interested in me mailing you a copy of this book, I will do it. All you have to do is email me and say, Mrs. Williams, I would like to try to read Ghost Boys. So that sounds pretty fascinating to me. I like realistic fiction. I like the aspect that there's a ghost as the main character, and I like to know a little bit about the history behind some of the Emmett Till. That's the historical figure in this piece. So drop me an email. I will gladly mail this to your home. Just let me know you are interested in reading it. You will really like it. It's a great story. So email me, let me know if you would like a copy of Ghost Boys. This will be the last, since I have to return the book fair, this is the last chance you get for me to mail a book to you. So if you want a book, this is your chance. Tell me you want Ghost Boys. I do have a book, since this is the last week for School Library Month. School Library Month we're celebrating. I have one last book to give away. It is the Wings of Fire graphic novel. This is book 3. I'm not sure why they send book 3 and not book 1 and 2. I don't know. They do that though. But anyway, if you are a Wings of Fire fan and you would like to read the graphic novel version of book 3, which is book 3 is Hidden Kingdom, I will gladly put your name in a drawing. I will. Email me and say, hey, Mrs. Williams, I'm interested in being in the drawing for the Wings of Fire drawing, and I will put your name in there and draw a name, and if it's yours, and I will mail this to you. Wings of Fire graphic novel, book 3, The Hidden Kingdom. Excellent. I love it. I love it. I think that's all I have for you today. Get those library books rounded up because we'll be collecting those soon. Yeah, and email me and let me know how you're doing because I missed you and I'm wondering how you're doing. And if there's anything you need or any questions that you have, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Bye, guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you for keeping on reading. Yes, keep on reading. Talk to you later.